the James Oliver Guitar Channel. This is vinyl video number 33 of albums and bands that I love and music that inspires me. This is record number 1 of 20 I'm going to show today, and this is John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers' Hard Road. Probably my favourite British blues record ever. Peter Green, John Mayall, John Mcphee and Ainsley Dunbar. My favourite track on the record is the Supernatural. I'm going to put it out there and say that I do prefer this record to the Beano album, even though that's an iconic album as well. He does Dust My Blues on this, of course, the Supernatural, a fantastic version of Freddie King's A Stumble, the song A Hard Road, Top of the Hill. Great British blues record. I mean, Peter Green to me is the ultimate British blues guitar player. I don't think he's ever been bettered. And up next, another cool British sort of blues band. This is Savoy Brown with Boogie Brothers. Of course, Kim Simmons being from Newbridge. It's nice to put out a Savoy Brown album into the list. This record features Stan Webb from Chicken Shack, of course, who later on went to record on the Blue Horizon label with Peter Green. It's got tracks on there like Highway Blues, Me and the Preacher, Rock and Roll Star, Boogie Brothers. It's very much a 70s blues rock album, very much of the time, but still cool nevertheless. Something a little bit more psychedelic. This is The Byrds with Fifth Dimension. I've always loved Roger McGuinn, David Crosby, Chris Hillman, and of course the great Clarence White. I've posted lots of stuff about Clarence before, and I got a Martin Clarence White, which is also on the channel. This has got some great tracks on it though. Wild Mountain Tame, I See You. The classic psychedelic track 8 Miles High. Of course, after this, they went on to make albums like Sweetheart of the Rodeo and Ballad of Easy Rider, which are my favourite Byrds albums. But that's quite psychedelic and interesting, so I like to show that. Up next, this is Neil Young with American Stars and Bars. This features my favourite Neil Young guitar track, Like a Hurricane. Saddle Up Your Palominos on this. Homegrown. It's all the sessions from the album that was Chrome Dreams 1, which I believe will be on the new archives coming out soon, or if not, it'll be on the one after. But Like a Hurricane, I think, is Neil's most expressive and interesting guitar playing. And I love his guitar sound as well. So that's Neil Young with American Stars and Bars. I will be showing a Neil Young album on every video, because I got enough of them, so why not? This is the third Pirates album. This is Happy Birthday Rock and Roll. This is after Out of Their Skulls and Skull Wars. This is quite a strange album. It's got some great moments in it, like Going Back Home, which he wrote with Wilco. And the title track, Golden Oldies, is a cool song. Fun words. But there's some really strange stuff on here as well, like Alarma and 130, 220 and Lemonade. I think if you bought the first two albums, you'd be disappointed with this album. But it's very much of a time thing. They were trying something different. And after this record, of course, Frank Farley went off playing drums with other people like Charlie Gracie. Johnny Spence went off and became a used car salesman. Couldn't think of a better job for Johnny than that. And Mick kept the Pirates going. But I mean, Happy Birthday Rock and Roll is an album that has got cool moments in it, but it's not their best. It also comes with a flexi disc as well. So there's Happy Birthday Rock and Roll. I mean, I love everything the Pirates ever done, you know, and I'm not putting any of these albums down. But I'm just saying it's very much of the time thing, like some of them are. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Soul to Soul. There's Stevie Ray on the front there, with his Gibson 335. Tracks on here like Say What, Look at Little Sister. There's a great video on YouTube of him playing Look at Little Sister with Jeff Ely. Really love that. Change It is on here. Empty Arms. Classic Stevie Ray. But strange to see him without the Strat. Sadly, as you all know, Leslie West recently passed away, and this is the Flowers of Evil album. Classic Mountain, excuse me, which features their best song in my opinion. Well, not their best song, their most famous song. I think it's one of their best songs, but their most famous, Mississippi Queen, of course. But it's also got on here Dream Sequence, which is a cool guitar solo by Leslie West on his Les Paul Jr. And then he goes into Chuck Berry's Roll Over Beethoven, then Dreams of Milk and Honey, then Variations, then Swan Theme, Flowers of Evil, Kings, Corral, One Last Cold Kiss, Crossroader, and Pride and Passion. There you are, there's Mountain. Up next, some more British blues. This is Joanne Kelly with Tony Mcphee. In my opinion, Joanne Kelly is the greatest female British blues artist of all time. Wonderful, unique voice, expressive acoustic guitar playing. The sister, of course, of Dave Kelly from the Blues Band. And this album features Tony Mcphee, who later went on to play in the Groundhogs, and he obviously backed his hero, John Lee Hooker. Stuff on there like Rock Me, Son House's Death Letter, Rolling and Tumbling, Me and the Devil, Dust My Blues, Oh Death, He Does John Lee Hooker's No More Dogging. Interesting stuff. I've always enjoyed listening to British people's takes on American blues. And I've shown the first solo album, the solo album of Joanne Kelly with her face on the front with glasses before on the channel. It's just a great record. This is Mickey Jupp, Some People Can't Dance. Mickey Jupp, of course, wrote Checkbook. Another famous sort of rock and roll pub rock songs that many people like Dave Edmunds and the Feelgoods have done. This album features tracks like Superman, Jogging, Some People Can't Dance, Taxi Driver, Modern Music. Some people compare Mickey to sort of a British Chuck Berry in the way he writes songs. This was produced by Mike Vernon, of course, who was a producer on the world famous Blue Horizon label, and he might have had something to do with that Hard Road. I know he did something to do with the Beano album, but don't quote me on that. So there's old Mickey Jupp there. This is a bit of sort of soul-y sort of R&B stuff. This is Clarence Frogman Henry on the Pie label. You always hurt the one you love, but I do, oh why, your picture, Just My Baby and Me. Classic 50s sort of R&B style stuff. I mean, the first line on this, Clarence Frogman Henry, a young, good-looking, compactly built singer from New Orleans, is the latest overnight success in the record world. I mean, you'd never know that by having a download, would you? So I love about these albums, you've got the artwork, etc. You know, it's a given thing with vinyl, isn't it? But it's Clarence. Another Welsh band, this is the Man Band. Back into the Future, this is the Mickey Jones, Tweak Lewis lineup. Mickey, Tweak, Phil Ryan and Will Hewitt. Of course, Mickey's been in every lineup of Man until he sadly passed away. Back into the Future's on this, A Night in Dad's Bag, Ain't There Fight. There's some really cool footage on YouTube of them doing Ain't There Fight. Or like the Whistle Test or something. So that's the Man Band. Up next, some more bluesy sort of stuff. This is more folk blues. This is Jesse Fuller with San Francisco Bay Blues. Of course, Jesse Fuller, he played the harmonica, the kazoo, the washboard. San Francisco Bay Blues, Everybody Works at My House But My Old Man, Beale Street Blues, The Dozens, I've Been So Doggone Lonesome. Great stuff there. This is on the Stateside label as well. So there we are, Jesse Fuller. This album is, of course, on the Chess label. This is the Sonny Boy Williamson Memoriam album. I love the Chess label, as you know. And this is Classic Harmonica by Sonny Boy Williamson. There's some classics on this. I can assure you of that. Bring Her On Home. Checking Up On My Baby. Too Young to Die, Gotta Move. Absolutely superb. Sonny Boy Williamson. Some more Welsh rockabilly next now with Crazy Cavan and the Rhythm Rockers, Rolling Through the Night. You all know I'm a big Cavan Grogan fan and the Crazy Cavan. Super Welsh rockabilly. Taking Care of My Home, Tear Out My Soul, Rolling Through the Night. Here Comes That Train, which is of course an Eddie Bond song, which I've done on the channel before. The Rockin' Alcoholic, Riffin' Hell, which is a good instrumental. Bye Bye Baby Blue. This came out in 1984 on Big Beat Records. Cavan's a great songwriter, quirky, interesting, fun lyrics that always put a smile on my face. Up next is one of my all-time favourite guitar players, Rory Gallagher. This is the Top Priority album with Ted McKenna and Jerry McAvoy on. Follow Me, Philby, Bad Penny, Just Hit Town, Off the Handle. And this is signed as well by Ted and Jerry. My band luckily opened for the Band of Friends about 4 times. And fair play, the first time I met Jerry, he sat down and signed all my records. And every time I see him, he calls me a psychedelic Buddy Ollie. I don't know why, but there we are. So that's the Rory Gallagher Top Priority album. I will be showing every Rory album, though, you know, at some point, because he is one of my all-time favourites. This is George Thorogood and the Destroyers with his 2120 South Michigan Avenue. It's like a tribute to Chess Records. Of course, 2120 South Michigan Avenue is the address of the Chess label. This is going back on in your sneakers featuring Buddy Guy, Seven Sun, Spoonful, Let It Rock, Bo Diddley's Bo Diddley, My Babe, which is a Little Walter classic. Features Charlie Musselwhite, great harmonica player. They do Help Me, Sonny Boy Williamson, we just shown. Chuck Berry's Sweet Little Rock and Roller. Real cool record. If you're into your boogie blues, George Thorogood's the way to go. Always puts a smile on my face anyway. Another Welsh act, prog stuff. This is Fairweather on the RCA Neon label, which is Andy Fairweather those bands. So after all that Amen Corner stuff, this is the Fairweather album. There's some good tracks on this. He does I Hear You Knocking, God Cried Mother, Don't Mess with Cupid, Poor Man's Bummerin'. He wrote all the songs on this, bar I Hear You Knocking, which is pretty cool. Of course, the RCA Neon label featured bands like Indian Summer, and this is sort of folky, rocky, proggy, a little bit of rock and roll in there. If you see it, pick it up, it's interesting, especially if you're into Welsh music history as well. This is quite a cool compilation on the Coral label. This is Johnny Burnett Trio with Tear It Up. One of my all-time favourite albums, as you know, is the Johnny Burnett Trio self-titled album, and I've put it on the channel before when I bought the original 10-inch, and I made an old video about it. This is a compilation on Coral. It's got Tear It Up on here, Undecided, Eager Beaver Baby, Midnight Train, Rock Therapy, etc. Grady Martin, Paul Burleson, Dorsey Burnett, Johnny Burnett, absolutely wonderful. Cool, it's a really cool compilation. They've got the rock and roll biker sort of things on the front. It's from the 60s. This is a cool album as well. This is Crazy Horse We're Loose, Neil Young's backing band country rock album, Billy Talbot, Ralph Molina. Hit and Run, Try, You Won't Miss It, Going Home. Real good country rock. My favourite backing band is Danny Whitten or Frank San Pedro, Ralph Molina and Billy Talbot, back in Neil Young's Crazy Horse. The solo albums are great. I showed the first solo album a couple of weeks ago with the horse on the cover with his real good record that is, and Nils Lofgren's on it, etc. But I don't know if this is the second or the third album. There's a Crook Creek, I think it's called, or something. Crooked Creek album. There's a self-titled album in this one, and there's a nice box set you can get as well on CD called Scratchy. Last but not least, this is quite a rare record. This is the first press. This is Pink Floyd's Pulse. So it's Pink Floyd without Dave Gilmour. Pink Floyd without Roger Waters. So it's Dave Gilmour, Richard Wright, Nick Mason. Learning to Fly, does Syd Barrett, Ask Me Domini, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Comfortably Numb, Run Like Hell, a fabulous version of Shine On You Crazy Diamond. This is a really nice LP set. I'm really happy I got this. He does Hey You, Coming Back to Life, Sorrow, High Hopes. Cracking album. So there we have it. There's another 20 records. Episode 33. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you all again next Wednesday for vinyl video number 34. Cheers.